Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So as you guys know, I am a big Nintendo fan and I just love every single one of the Nintendo games. So knowing that this app came out is like a huge thing for me because I have been an iOS user and I have been for basically my entire life and I don't really plan on switching over. So having something like this is definitely something that is a plus. So there is a new emulator called the Delta emulator on the iOS version. I'll go ahead and link that in the description below too if you would like to download it. And with that, you are able to play multiple consoles, as we could see it here. There's the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo DS. I'm going to be specifically showing the Nintendo DS since that was the what I had on me in terms of like the system files, and then also the games readily available to me. So we can go ahead and show that too. And then they also have some of the really nice settings that we can just kind of scroll through real quick. So you can kind of customize it to your own liking. One of the things that I did think was pretty cool, which we can go ahead and scroll down to. Let me try to find it real quick. I believe you have to have it plugged in for it to show, but there is a possibility where when you do have your capture card or anything that would be able to capture your phone, for example, you can go ahead and plug that into your TV and it will obviously stream your phones onto the TV while you can use either your phone as a controller or, as we'll be showing later on in this video, our wireless controller for that, which is really, really cool. Again, we'll show that later on. If you would just like to see the controller review, I will be doing that. On the bottom, you could just scroll forward until we can specifically get to the controller. But let's just go ahead and keep looking at the app. So one of the things that you'll have to do, though, is once you do download this app, you will have to get the files for, I think, the DS. I'm not sure how I would be able to find it. Yes, right here on the DS BIOS files, you'll have to get those yourself. Those are not obviously provided. But like I said, I have a DS on me and I was able to get the files for myself. So that's the reason why we are going to be doing that. Let me go ahead and open up the game. And as you can see here, we got to the title screen and just, it's very, very nice. You know, having it where not only can you have it like top down like this, but let me go ahead and do this as well. We could see that we could also have it where it is left to right, or I think it's panoramic. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but either way, it is still nice to have it where you're able to play it either way. And then something that is also cool, and we'll see later on, is if you do happen to connect a controller onto here and it realizes that it's a controller, the buttons that are on the screen and the screen itself will kind of adjust to that. So let me go ahead and we can just go ahead and hop into the game for a second. We can go ahead and just like use the controls and everything like that. So as you can see, I just started playing recently, so I'm not too far into the game, but the controls are working pretty perfectly. We go ahead and hit start, opens up the menu. We hit select, you know, it does everything that it would do in the game. There's also L and R, which don't do anything as of right now because I haven't unlocked anything yet. But as you can see that it does react to that. The other thing that I thought was pretty cool too is that, like I was saying, it is something you can do to customize. So if you would like the phone to have like this little vibration, you know, when you do have the controls done, it obviously will vibrate. But if you would just like to, you know, play the game without having that, you're able to turn that off as well. Now let me go ahead and hook up my controller and let me connect my phone to my capture card, and then we'll go ahead and look at that. All right, now that we have this open, we can see that the controls have gone away. I do have my controller connected, which is the reason why the controls have gone away, obviously. But yeah, I'm not sure if you're able to have it in portrait mode. I'm almost positive there is probably a way to be able to switch around some of these settings because, you know, like I was saying, it is very customizable in terms of stuff like that. But even still, it is really nice. You know, you have the top screen on the left side and then the bottom screen on the right side for this DS, for example. One thing I do think is worth mentioning is I'm using my controller right now, and even while I'm clicking on the A button, it is obviously jumping forward on Mario on the top right. You can see that the A button would be on the right side, but because I'm using this specific controller, the A button for me is on the bottom of the controller, while the B button for me is on the right side of the controller. So because of that, because I'm using what would be an Xbox kind of layout for the controller, it makes it where the right side of the controller is basically swapped between the top and the left button, and the right and the bottom button are swapped. But the game still recognizes, or my phone still recognizes, that the A button is hooked up to the A button. So it's something, like I said, worth noting that if you, depending on which controller you do get, this might be something that might happen too. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if you were able to customize it in some way to stop that from happening, or just having it where you swap the buttons, like I was saying. But let me go ahead and show the controller as well, and then we can kind of move on a little bit. All right, and then I'm gonna record this part with my phone because my phone's camera quality is a lot better than my camera that I have on standby. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of do like a little showcase of, like I was saying, the controller. This is a very nice controller. I believe the battery life is 20 hours, but I do have the box right behind me, so I can go ahead and double check that. Other than that, you can see that it has the glowing buttons. It has the glowing ring, of course, the RGB lights, if you will, on both the top left and the bottom right of the controller. We also have the home button, the turbo button, which I'm not sure which does, and the select button, of course, and then also the start button, I forgot, at the top right. And then if we go ahead and look on the other side of the controller, we can see that it does have some of the controls on the back to let you know about some of the stuff as well. So it says this is for the iOS or Android devices, and then it also tells you what the initial connection and the reconnection buttons are, which is the B and home button if you're doing the initial connection, or it's just the home button if you're setting it up for the second time. So pretty cool, all things considered. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone inside of this so that way you guys can see that and kind of show like how it works and everything. But again, remember, this is going to be a worse camera quality because I'm using my my camera that came with my computer, so it will look a lot worse, unfortunately. But I hope you guys will bear that in mind and not make fun of it too much. All right, so then, like I was talking about, this is the only camera I have on standby, unfortunately. So if it does look a little bit stretched from the left to the right, it's because it wasn't really meant for this. I also have the brightness lower on the thing because it was affecting how obviously the phone was looking. I'm gonna probably do a jump cut as I put my phone. Actually, no, I'll show the process of it too. So something that is with the remote is that it snaps like this. So it will snap onto your phone. And the good part is, you'll notice on the left side over here, it does have a little part where your camera can go. So a lot of the ridges of your camera, or like how I have it with my smartphone, with the like you see the little bumps on the top left and the bottom right of the case, will make it where, obviously, for most of these devices, for something like the I can't remember the PlayStation 1 off the top of my head, but that was a main concern that I had, which is why I went for this product instead. But again, it's really nice to see that they did think of that and they made sure to make it a work around that, basically. So let me go ahead and just put my phone in here. There we go. As you can see, the phone is inside of the thing. It is pretty sturdy, so it's not like it's gonna pop out, or at least I would hope not. We can go ahead and flip it over to show that it is not entirely loose, right? So from there, we can go ahead and move the controls and see that, you know, like I was talking about, it does work. And the thing I was talking about earlier about the bars kind of being at the top and the bottom, but the screens are adjusting to account for the extra space that you now have, because you're obviously not going to need the controls. It is nice to, like I was talking about, see that they thought about that. If you're not going to use the controls, why have that extra space on the screen? It's nice. But yeah, all things considered, this is a very, very nice combo, I will say, to have it where, you know, you not only have the controller, which isn't that expensive. At the time of this recording, I got it for $42, and, you know, having this app where you are able to play some of the DS games and some of the other Nintendo console games is very, very nice as well, especially because I own most of it. So having it as like a travel buddy for me is the perfect combo, like I was talking about, the perfect product to have, because it's just like, it's almost like it was built for me. All things considered though, I would definitely say that this is something that is very cool. One of the main concerns that I had though was that obviously, because it is a Bluetooth thing and it's not something like Backbone, that's the one I was thinking about. Because it's not something like Backbone, which directly connects to your thing, I didn't know how bad the connection would be for the Bluetooth device, obviously, because that is always going to be a concern for somebody who would like to have it where it is, you know, I wanted to make sure that obviously if I'm pressing the button, it's going to show up on the screen, not too much later, you know. But yeah, as you can see, I'm clicking the A button and it is very responsive. It's not taking too much time to show up on the screen. And I can press multiple buttons and it does the same thing. And whether this is a function of the remote or if it's the function of the emulator, something I've also seen as well is if I click both the back left, the back right, the top right, and the front left, the buttons all at the same time, it will go ahead and go to the main menu. I don't think I could do it going because it's too far across. You're gonna have to trust me on that, because like I don't know how I would set it up where I can hold it with one hand and then also press 4 buttons simultaneously. Oh, I know how I would be able to do it. I could just take it out of my phone real quick. 1 second. There we go. Now that I have taken my phone outside of my the controller, if I go ahead and press all of the top buttons at the same time, we can go ahead and see that the game has got ahead and restarted. Which, if for whatever reason, like for playing something like Pokemon, for example, if you mistakenly knock out the Pokemon and you immediately want to restart and you want to go back to your previous save, it's something to think about, you know, just having it where you could press all 4 of the back buttons and then restart. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is also a customizable feature if you can just, you know, turn that feature off if you so desire. But again, this is a really nice product if all things considered. But let me know what you guys think. I know this is a little bit different from what I usually do, but I figured since I am a Nintendo fan, I would give my thoughts and opinions on both the controller that I just got and also the app itself. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys want to watch more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!